And now it's time for Blogger's Blurb with Josh Lockhart, the Kimberley Dynamiter blogger. So, what have you seen on the web over the last couple of nights?
Last couple of nights? We were just here yesterday.
Well, I'm about to say last night and tonight. I mean, obviously you watch Twitter and that sort of thing. So, what kind of comments have you been receiving?
Comments have I been receiving? Oh, I wasn't expecting this question right off the hop.
Well, I can wait till later.
A whole heck of a lot.
No?
Because it feels like we're in the eye of the storm right now. So there hasn't been much banter back and forth between teams or any, at least that I've seen. So that's...
You haven't been watching.
Pardon?
You haven't been watching.
I haven't. Why? Have I missed something?
Oh, it's constant. Hacking and slashing behind the play on that sort of thing. So a lot of that going on.
Oh, are you talking about online?
No, I'm talking about on the ice.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what's been going on online.
Well, that's what I asked you, but you said nothing was happening.
Yeah,
so
it's the eye of the storm. Okay, man, I'm following.
Segue.
Segue. I wasn't ready for that segue yet. Oh, yes, out on the ice, it has been very chippy. It reminds me more of like a Fernie Kimberley type game than, I guess more of what I'm used to. But at the same time, we know Beaver Valley is a gritty team because they wear you down.
Yep.
So
they're a big, strong, tough team.
Yeah. Well, okay, and even their little guys are solid.
Yes.
So they're all pit bulls.
There's no rails on that team. They're all posts.
Yes. Absolutely. And I was actually talking earlier with some of the other media people over there about some of the pictures on the Beaver Valley Nitehawks team, like of their players. Like some of them look like they're 30 years old because they've matured so much and they got full beards. And I'm like, man, when I was 19 years old, I was lucky if I had any kind of like peach fuzz. So yeah, so I think they've also got just that maybe biological maturity as well on their side that just makes them a solid team.
Well, they are solid and they're not that old in a team. A lot of 17 and 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
So this is a team that's, if they keep it together, they're going to be strong for the next couple of years anyway. Now, Beaver Valley's always got a strong team.
They've been strong.
But they've built it up so that they don't need to fill in quite so many spaces, whereas a couple of years ago they had to rebuild the entire team. But this year, they've got a fairly young team. Most of these guys can come back, and they're going to have a really strong team again next year and fill in a couple of spots.
Yeah, the most obvious one to me being Talon Kramer, because I believe he's in 96, so that will be a hole. But if they hold on to, I believe they acquired Owen Six.
Owen Six is from Golden.
So he's a solid goalie. He just got peppered and had a lot of nightmare games playing for Golden. But so if he sticks around, they have another solid goalie for next season.
He's not Talon Kramer, I'll tell you that, though.
He's not Talon Kramer, but he's a solid keeper, at least from what I saw of him. He just got hung out to dry a lot in Golden.
I'm actually surprised with the way the play has gone that it's not 4-3. Both goaltenders have made some outstanding saves. Kramer with a couple of close-in shots, clear shots. He's able to make the save, cover up the rebound. And, of course, Campbell scored a couple of breakaways and stopped him cold. So this could very easily be a 4-3 game instead of a 1-0 game.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that Derek Stewart was mentioning to me was puck luck. He felt they didn't have a lot of puck luck yesterday. And with that shot off the post, a couple shots that have gone right through the crease that were wide open net, they've got some puck luck in those first two periods, because yes, it could be a much different
the thing that impresses me most about the Nitehawks is their transition.
Yes.
They go from defense to offense in the blink of an eye. The Dynamiters thus far have been able to get back on the D, so they understand the quickness of the breakout. But I haven't seen this year a team that transitions as well as the Nitehawks do. They're just outstanding in that transition.
Well, and this is again where I feel like, having talked to Derek, but just also my observation is there's a lot of respect for the Nitehawks team and how they can play a complete game.
Yes.
There's not a lot of, or if any area that they lack in, they are able to excel in all areas of the game.
Excellent coaching. They play their systems well. They like that lob pass up the middle and get a bouncing puck towards a defenseman. And that's what happened in Cranbrook when they played in Cranbrook, and they played that play a lot. and the Dynamiters had no answer.
Forget about that game. That one's like blocked out of the memory.
Well, the fact that it was played in Cranbrook, it wasn't really a home game.
And that's what I keep saying as well.
Yeah.
And as I've said before, I don't think the hockey gods were on our side because we were playing in Cranbrook, and they don't like Kimberley, the Cranbrook hockey gods. So.
Well, I tell you what, there was a lot of fans from Cranbrook at that game. I was really surprised at the attendance.
Yep.
And from all accounts, they all enjoyed the game.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of a lot of fans here, there's a pretty good Fruitvale Beaver Valley contingent here for the squad.
According to my sources,
yes,
there were 1,100 pre-sales prior to tonight's game. So when they announce the attendance, I'm expecting it's going to be somewhere around 1,200.
Yeah, wow.
And that's awesome. The Dynamiters and fans, the hockey club, the city. It's just an exciting time, this playoff time for the Dynamiters and their fans.
Absolutely. And so for me now, working a little bit more in the media, it's amazing to see the past two games, how many more like media people are here covering this. We've had like cameras everywhere going. So there's a lot of attention for the third year in a row on the Dynamiters, and well deserved. But yeah, it's.
And I imagine there's a few scouts out here tonight looking for those 18, 19-year-old players that they might want to move up into other junior A, major junior, or even college players in the next couple of years.
Yep, absolutely.
And the Dynamiters, of course, the Jamestown Jimmies are almost filled with ex-Dynamiter players, starting with Tyson Brower and Jason Richter and Eric Buckley and the lot. So, and the
and
James,
a lot of other KI players as well.
Some Fernie players, some Crescent players as well. So, and they did extremely well in their league. I believe they finished 7th in their division.
They actually qualified to like play in the hockey version of March Madness.
Yep.
But because they're a first-year team, they're not allowed to participate.
That seems a bit odd to me.
Yes.
A first-year team likely wouldn't qualify in most cases. So, but it's just odd that they wouldn't be able to play in that with the record that they have. And kudos to the coaching staff there and the players that they've recruited
to get a team off the ground so quickly. Yeah,
exactly.
That's impressive. Yes.
So tonight's game. Any other comments about what you've seen tonight?
The first period felt a little dull. I think it's because both teams were trying to play mistake-free hockey. Once we finished that 4-on-4, it really picked up for both teams. It's been a lot more fast-paced, and I think the Dynamiters realized that after they scored that first goal, you've got a 1-goal lead on Beaver Valley, but they're not going to go away.
That's not enough.
That's at all. So
I have to say I'm impressed with the penalty killing. They were shorthanded just about half of that second period.
Yes.
They had 4 power plays against, and I think the Nitehawks got maybe 5 shots on goal, but in amongst the 4 power plays.
A player for me that's sticking out on the Dynamiters, like I love Cole DePalo. He got the Unsung Hero Award that I hand out at the Dynamiters banquet. So I'm a big fan of Cole DePalo and just his ability to be persistent with the puck and keep going in that. So which is what he did on that goal. But I've been impressed with Brant Bertoya on his line. He's had a lot of speed and he's been not necessarily gritty, but he's just had a nose for the puck, and he's taking hits as well to get to that puck.
The thing about the Dynamiters, last night I thought the Beaver Valley Nitehawks got to a lot of the pucks first.
Yes.
Now the Dynamiters they're probably 50-50 where they're getting the pucks just as often as the Nitehawks are.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm impressed and I'm impressed with the entire Nitehawks team, but I was talking about it during the game, is how they can get an offensive zone face-off, lose the face-off, and recover the puck.
Yes.
They know that the puck's going in the corner, and they're there almost before the defenseman, and they tie things up. Yeah. And about half the time, they're coming away with the puck coming out of the corner after a lost face-off.
Totally.
And that's where the Dynamiters have to be really careful.
Absolutely. So I've mentioned this to Coach Stewart all season long, that there's been a pattern of the Dynamiters losing a face-off and then losing the lost face-off and the puck going in the net. That's happened a lot in the defensive zone.
Well, if you start in the offensive zone with a face-off win, you got an excellent opportunity to get a shot towards a goal.
Yeah. So for me, the player who looks like a 30-year-old man, Sam Swanson, he's a centerman for that, or at least he's taken a couple face-offs. I don't think he's lost a face-off, so I'd be really worried about for me, that's the worry part, is losing a face-off in the defensive zone for the Dynamiters, and it's going to end up in the net, because that happened last night.
Well, looking at the face-off circle, I think the two players for the Dynamiters that have impressed me tonight, Miller and Matt Davies, they've won more face-offs than they lost, and that's again a change from last night. I thought Beaver Valley controlled the face-off circle last night.
Yep.
Tonight, again, it's probably about 50-50 with the Dynamiters. But the problem is they're winning face-offs and losing the puck, in the defensive zone. Yeah. So it's and there was a couple. I believe it was I want to say it was Miller off the face-off. They were shorthanded. Instead of going back with the puck in the offensive zone, he went right at the goaltender, and it almost got by Kramer. It just kind of snuck past the post. Nice thing that the Dynamiters, their killing penalties is really good. Again, against a quality team like the Beaver Valley Nitehawks, they're doing an outstanding job.
Yep. And because I don't want to say Nitehawks have had more power plays, the Dynamiters have had, I would say, about the same power plays. But
no, it's 5-3.
Is it 5-3? But
and two of the three Dynamiter power plays were 1 minute long.
Yes, so that's what I was going to get to. Is the Dynamiters have kind of shot themselves in the foot by negating their own power plays a couple times. So they haven't had the same amount of chances as the Nitehawks have had on the power play, which is why we have a 9-shot difference.
Yep.
So Campbell is playing really well tonight. He's giving it his all to make sure the Dynamiters have a chance to win tonight.
Exactly, and the thing about Cody Campbell is that last night may not have been his best game. He's a good bounce-back goaltender. If he has a game that's average or maybe a little bit below average, the next game you can be pretty sure he's going to be outstanding.
Yeah, I love the couple of times that I've interviewed him and been like, so what changed for you? And he just looks at me and says, well, I said enough was enough. I'm going to stop the puck. Okay. Like, it's just, his mental game is very simple.
It's a good philosophy for a goaltender, and I'm sure Kramer would say the same thing. All I have to do is stop it. I got defensemen that'll take care of the puck. Now, talking about, and it sounds like I'm a Beaver Valley Nighthawk supporter. I am not. But I'm so impressed with Kramer. When he sees the puck, he stops it. I mean, that all goalies at this level, Campbell notwithstanding, when they see it, they're going to stop it.
Absolutely.
What I like about Kramer is that he plays the puck as well as any defenseman. Yes. So there was a couple of times where he had the puck and he fired it, and the breakaway was part of that, where he fired the puck out of his own zone. Dynamiters changing the PK, and it was a 50-foot breakaway. Yeah. And shorthanded, and Campbell was able to make the save and keep the at that point the game was still at 0. So it's one of those things that that's what you need in the playoffs. You need excellent goaltending. Both teams are getting it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted because we're being shown a black hole devouring a star. So apparently we're getting a little distracted here by our camera woman. But anyway, I forget what I was going to say. The thing that also impresses me about Kramer, he doesn't let out rebounds. Like, he swallows that puck. Mind you, it's because he sees the puck a lot, so he just sucks it right in.
And that's something that I talked about with the coaching staff before the game, and talked to Troy about it during the game. Is the Dynamiters last night were throwing everything chest high.
Yes.
So he had the ability to absorb the puck.
Yeah.
Tonight, you'll notice there's been 3 or 4 times they've put it along the ice.
Yes.
They've had a rebound, unable to pounce on the rebound, but hitting the goaltender in the pads, having the rebound come out. That's the best way to beat a goaltender like Kramer is, to get that rebound and be able to pound the net.
To the front of the net.
And they've been doing that a lot more tonight.
Yes, they have been. So they've been hungrier, which is what they needed. Do or die.
It is do or die. Do or go play golf.
Sorry?
Play or go play golfing.
Yes. I would rather play.
I'd rather watch them play myself.
Yeah.
Josh Lockhart, thanks for coming by. The Bloggers Blurb once again. Stay tuned for more KIJHL playoff hockey action featuring the Kimberley Dynamiters.